Ikaw ang Pangulo para sa pagbabago. Sawa na ang bayan ko sa magnanakaw na tao. Madilim na kahapon, ikaw ang mag-aahon. Sa piling mo, di ko mawawala ang korupsyon. Tayo na, Pilipinas, tayo na magbago. Hawak kamay tayo para sa pagkasenso. Ikaw at ako, tayong lahat.
You may now be seated. Good afternoon, dear guests from the government and business sectors. Today we are gathered to witness the official launch of Pilipinas Angat Lahat Alliance. Pilipinas Angat Lahat Alliance is the initiative of the Office of Presidential Advisor for Entrepreneurship, led by Presidential Advisor Joey Concepcion, to work with government and industry partners to integrate and accelerate all the public and private sector programs and initiatives geared towards poverty alleviation and job generation through MSME development. To give us all an in-depth insight on the Pilipinas Angat Lahat Alliance, may I call on Presidential Advisor for Entrepreneurship, Joey Concepcion.
Good afternoon. President Rodrigo Duterte, Madam Speaker Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, Executive Secretary Bingbong Medaldia, and of course my partner Secretary Mon Lopez. I also would like to welcome the other cabinet secretaries here, Harry Roque, Secretary Bello, Salonto, and our 30 alliance partners. We formed this alliance of the business organizations, the largest business organizations in the Philippines, 30 of you. They're all seated in front of me. I'd like also to welcome our entrepreneurs from very successful entrepreneurs. And of course, our ambassadors who are here who have been very supportive of our programs for our fight with SMEs. And of course, our micro and small entrepreneurs. Some of them are here, the cooperatives, and our mentors. Mr. President, I think this is the first time that all of them are not carrying a cell phone. So, not because they volunteered to, but they were mandated to. The reason why we are here today is because, Mr. President, we really want you to fulfill your mission in helping many of the Filipino people out there who are suffering from poverty. Our micro and small entrepreneurs, as you said, 99.6% of them are the ones that are severely challenged. And how do we plan to do that, basically? We're looking at focusing on mentorship, money, and market. The power of mentorship is extremely huge. Many of you here, gentlemen and ladies, are actual beneficiaries of this immense power from your schools, your parents, and your colleagues in the different organizations, business organizations, that you continue to mentor each other to become successful entrepreneurs and businessmen. But yet, many of those at the bottom of the pyramid lack that skill. And this is where we intend to focus. May I share this video with all of you? Secretary Mon Lopez and myself for the past 12 years have been pursuing the vision of really equalizing and giving every struggling entrepreneur out there a chance to succeed.
Since 2016, the Mentor Me program has been helping owners of micro and small enterprises achieve success through coaching and mentoring, bringing mentors and mentees together in different cities across the country.
For the promotion and integration of the MSMEs across all sectors in the Philippines. Together, let us build an inclusive and equitable Philippines. Kaya ba natin to? Kaya.
Mr. President, I'd like, and I think you already met him earlier, a painter that you helped 2 years ago. With that help, he has gained a lot of momentum. May I call on Maki Bungabon to stand up? Where are you, Maki? Maki, where are you? Is Maki here? I just saw him earlier. Well, the story of Maki really is that when the president found him, he helped him by asking him to do the portrait of our president, and it was hanged in the halls of Malacañan. And Maki since then has done really well. In fact, he has now a joint project with Joey Antonio here, who is an excellent photographer. So they're going to do a collaboration of his painting and his photography. So, Mr. President, that is the power of really mentorship. So far, together with the Department of Trade and Industry, we have trained and mentored and passed 5,125 mentees. Secretary Mon Lopez and his entire team has been one of the greatest partners we have had in really scaling down the level of mentorship to a very grassroots level. Secretary Manny Piñol as well, with his programs in the Department of Agriculture, we've worked with 425 cooperatives, basically the heads of the cooperatives and the treasurer. And this is led by Jingay Hontiveros, who has worked very hard, not only in this project, as well as many of our projects in Mindanao, especially Marawi. And the pursuit of helping Marawi and Sulu still continues. And with the help of all of you here in the private sector, last year and the year before, of supporting, bringing, and helping them in their own negocios. The other M is money. And Mr. President, yes, I know you want to get rid of 5-6. And the way to do it is really to digitalize our micro and small entrepreneurs. Manny Pangilinan and Fernando Zobel are here, the owners of Smart and Globe. They now play in a unique opportunity, really, of trying to create a platform that will reach our micro entrepreneurs, basically enabling them to use a smartphone to borrow money. With their platforms, Lender and Mint, and with the help of our fast-moving consumer goods companies, Unilever, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, P&G, etc. We have laid the framework and the start whereby, since many of these FMCG companies know the best clients, the best sari-sari stores, they will now share this data with these platforms of both Globe and Smart, thereby enabling them to access different lenders at much lower interest rates. They will be able to compete with the 5-6 lending because the collection can be done through the phone, weekly, monthly, and some of them are going to give free insurance. They will have a financing scheme for their phones and even free data. This, to me, is the biggest game changer, Mr. President. Digitalizing our micro and small entrepreneurs, eventually cascading that to the provinces, the agriculture workers, and all of that. In this hall, we've invited a number of digital entrepreneurs. Lazada, Shopee, Angkas is here, Gawin, and all of that. The advent of digitalization is actually, Mr. President, going to democratize the entire sector. It's going to give them a chance to reach the marketplace and the money place without us, brick-and-mortar businesses, controlling them. Eventually, all banks, rural banks, and MFIs will need to jump into this platform for them to be able to reach the millions of Filipinos who are at the bottom of the pyramid. And the only way is to reach it through that telephone. Yes, Mr. President, maybe the challenge is connectivity. But I guess between the two of them, the intense competition, the amount of investments that they're going to pour will be immense. And I was sharing my thoughts with Manny Pangilinan over last night. And why don't you guys share towers? Try to go to areas wherein maybe it's not profitable, but jointly it might be profitable. The challenge really of digitalization is reach, connectivity. The platforms are there. The young entrepreneurs are ready to go. This is the chance, I believe. So in the money side, this is where I believe. Because in the end, if you have mentorship but without money, it's useless. And the next is really market. You may have the mentorship, you may have the money, but you don't have the market. Access to market. Mr. President, your Build, Build, Build program is the key to it. But we need greater participation from the private sector. And I would like to thank you for giving the privilege to our private sectors to be partners with government in airports. San Miguel with Bulacan, now the group of 7 having the OPM for the NAIA rehabilitation. I believe that with modernization of all our airports, tourism will be the biggest game changer. Your very bold move of closing down Boracay shocked everyone. But in the end, I think it was the right decision. It was a painful decision, but it stressed the point that if we want this country to have and maintain its treasures, which are the beautiful islands, we must take care of it. And that has become a lesson for many out there in local government and entrepreneurs as well, that all the beaches, all the beautiful resorts that are potential in the Philippines has to be taken care of. And I believe you've really sent that message. And you've appointed a secretary who is very good in marketing. And I believe this combination, and together with the support of the private sector to hasten and join government in building these airports, will be the biggest game changer. Likewise, your build on roads, ports, and all of that are equally important because access from farm to market is key in developing our agricultural sector. Bulk of the 99.6% of our micro-entrepreneurs belong to the agri-sector. It is the most challenging sector actually out there. And how do we help them? Yes, we can mentor them, we can provide them the money, but we must provide them the access to market. And these roads are very important for them to reach their products, to get their products to the shipping lanes, to the market stalls on time. So I believe for us to really make this country inclusive, this is the way forward. In closing, I know many of you here in this room are also bothered by certain things. Mr. President, I know you will be making a very important decision in the structure of government. And our Speaker as well, Madam Speaker, will also be making that very important decision on the right structure that this country should move forward to. But whatever structure it is, I think it is a structure that should encourage investors to continue to invest in this country. It should encourage greater competition. It should encourage everybody to be able to reach the poorest entrepreneur out there. As a small corporation, it is an asset for one to make centralized decisions. As one grows and becomes like an Ayala, then you can decentralize the decision and the control of resources. It is where we put the Philippines to be, whether we are a small corporation or a large corporation. In the end, we pray that our nation makes that right decision that will continue the massive movement of change that is now helping our country move forward. And Mr. President, you have our full support with whatever decision you make. In the end, you won because you had the mandate of the poor people out there that they wanted to see a better future for themselves. And together with the alliance here of 30 chambers and organizations, we are committed to this vision. Because in the end, the Philippines has to gradually move away from poverty. And in your last 4 years as president, we will definitely support you in trying to help you attain that vision and dream. Thank you.
Thank you, PA Concepcion. It is indeed a great program towards the goal of inclusive growth for all Filipinos. We look forward to the time where no Filipino will be left behind. At this point, may we have your attention as we present to you the official AVP of the Pilipinas Angat Lahat Alliance.
The Filipino. Hardworking. Hopeful. Determined. Yet prosperity remains elusive for many. For so much potential lies untapped, underdeveloped. An enterprising culture can unleash them. To enable the Filipino to rise from poverty and reach for prosperity. But for transformation to be meaningful and sustainable, we must create bigger waves. Through efforts focused and united. This is the heart of Pilipinas Angat Lahat. The government and the private sector gathered together by the Office of the Presidential Advisor for Entrepreneurship. Thinking as one, aspiring as one, moving as one. To alleviate poverty and generate jobs through MSME development. Championing the 3 M's by linking major players with humble enterprises. To share insights, resources, and output. To collaborate, to succeed, not only within the nation, but across the region.
My promise to you is we are here for you to help. You all will succeed.
We shall work hand in hand, creating paths that will lead our people and our communities toward a truly inclusive, innovation-led, shared prosperity.
May we work as one in building a progressive and prosperous society where upliftment and opportunities are available and accessible to all.
Pilipinas Angat Lahat, an alliance of business organizations that enables, catalyzes, and propels our MSMEs for true inclusive growth, for a future that is prosperous for all. And this is simply the beginning. Dahil ang pagsulong, pinagtutulong-tulungan. Sama-sama, walang maiiwan. Pilipinas Angat Lahat.
At this juncture, may we invite again PA Concepcion to lead the presentation of the Pledge of Commitment.
Can I ask the 30 business organizations of the Alliance to please stand up? Mr. President, this is our pledge of commitment. We, the members of the Pilipinas Angat Lahat Alliance, organized by the Office of the Presidential Advisor for Entrepreneurship, pledge to commit ourselves to the mission of pursuing inclusive growth by harnessing public-private partnership, endeavors geared towards micro, small, and medium enterprises. The development by way of contributions to government policies and programs that will help create an enabling and sustainable business environment, and development of programs anchored on the 3M's mentorship, money, and market, which would enable and propel our MSMEs towards prosperity for all. This is the pledge of the Pilipinas Angat Lahat Alliance to the Filipino people, signed on this 14th day of August 2018 at Malacañan, Manila. Thank you.
Thank you, PA Concepcion. And now may we call on Executive Secretary Salvador Medialdea to introduce our guest of honor and speaker.
Magandang hapon sa kanilang lahat. Ang Pangulong magpapaangat sa Pilipinas, Mayor Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Salamat po. Kindly sit down. Thank you for your courtesy. Governor, dito ka pala. Alam mo, Cora, I have 2 pages and same, I'll be through in about a minute and a half. So, to do justice, I don't know who the girls, sinong gumawa nito. Because I have something else in mind to talk. I need time because I know that you are afraid of the floods, and if rains, the precipitation is that heavy and we expect more rains, you better be back in your homes for dark. So I will just read the last paragraph. Ito. Joan. And you can go home. I believe that by unity, cooperation, and hard work, we shall achieve our aspiration for our country, including sustainable development and the good life that we always wish for the Filipinos. Let us work together to realize our hopes and dreams for our people and nation. Congratulations at mabuhay kayong lahat. That ends my speech official. Now, I'd like to talk also about my personal heartaches and all. Nandito pa naman si President Arroyo. I do not want to cheapen the presidency kasi nakakahiya eh. But you know, ma'am, about 2 weeks ago, I had a command conference for all of the United groups of the armed forces, pati police mismo, all of them, down to the last commander. Nandito po kami sa Malacañan. And before the start of the meeting, I took the floor away from the MC for the opening remarks. And I said, may I be allowed to talk first. At sinabi ko sa mga sundalo at pulis, guys, I want you to know that I am thinking of stepping down because I'm tired. While I am not against or angry against anybody, my chase against graft and corruption seems to be endless, and it has contaminated almost all government departments and offices. But I would like to assure you that for each and every department, you have a head that's very good. But, you know, every project seems to go kaput at the end of the day. You start with a big bang, full of announcements, and you go there for the memorial opening or the ground breaking, and it's all there in the newspaper splash. But I have yet to hear any government project before that has succeeded without so many interventions. One is that I've been telling Congress and everybody else for the law to do away with these things about lowest bid and, the penchant just to give it a contract to somebody who has no resources at all. They go around fixing biddings in the provinces. They're one hell of a club, and they just go around from city to city looking for contracts. They're there for the bidding, and there are plenty in one group. So if a bidding is held, the group, the leader of the cabal would just wait and allow his minions to go into the process, and at the end of the day, he will just dive. For a 100 million project, he's willing to dive to 70. He gets the contract, and it's almost happening every day throughout the Philippines, national and local. They win, and they go to the guys who are into business. No equipments, no capitalization, no nothing. And they would just start to sell it, to farm out the bids. And it's given to one, would subcontract it with another, and you see multi-million projects being worked upon with 2, 3, 4 workers, and he has to wait to lease or the equipments after somebody uses it for another project. They only have about 3, 4. You know, I am exasperated because however I was dealing with the problem of Nayong Pilipino. I've been telling everybody it's bid, and a bid that is not rigged. Time and again, I humiliate them in public. And yet for all the thick, as parang rhinoceros na talagang too thick, they said go on, and the DPWH, and you know, it's all a convoluted thing out there. I was trying to do something about Nayong Pilipino, so I fired all, and I was accounting for a new set of Filipinos because ang hinihingi ko lang is, I'm asking for workers. I do not want to call them board of directors and it bloat their head. Just asking for workers to be the chairman to act. And I don't even mention the presidency. In my SONA address, you never heard me talk of myself as president or presidency. I just say, I am a worker of government, doing my duty because of the mandate of the people. I've been trying to do it. I promised you 5 basic. During the campaign and during the presidential debates, I was the one who would always be delivering the shortage. I did not mention about superstructures at the time because I have been around in this planet for so long that I would know, even without asking. So graft is so embedded, it is endemic, and it is always a part of the territory of a transaction, especially by government. You know, I do not allow whatever, LRT, rain, whatever, train, no document ever lands in my, I do not allow it. It begins with the cabinet and ends with the cabinet member. I have, for the life of me, I have not seen a contract with government. It is always, I choose you to be the cabinet member, do it right. Well, all right at the top, but at the bottom, you have to chase them, and that is very exhausting, and I do not think that I can fulfill my promise to the people. I said I was the first one to finish because I used the bullet style. Having been a prosecutor in court, time is always of the essence and the substance of what you say. I said, I will try to stop corruption, which I'm doing. And still I cannot succeed, even beyond my term. I told you that I will go after drugs. And I warned everybody because on what used to be millions of transactions worth, it's now billions. And even the government agencies are already quarreling amongst themselves because they want really to do something about it. And for that, I do not intervene. I let them quarrel publicly. And then I just say, do your job. Better luck next time. And the drug situation, as the intelligence of the world today would suggest, we have noticed that there's a radical change in the landscape. There's no more Shabu laboratory here because they know that if we meet in one corner, I'll just kill them. They know that. Because I said, you destroy my country, and that is self-preservation. If it's worth billions, how many people? The fact that the official count, and you saw on TV, surrendering in mass, all skinny, thin, malnourished. These are, well, I would say 1,000,006. 1,000,006 of your fellow human beings, Filipinos at that, are reduced to slavery, to a drug called shabu. And it's being run now through the connections of the Bamboo Triad. That is why we were wondering why there is no more large-scale manufacturing of shabu. Well, one is that because if you do it, somehow I will find a good reason to kill you. So what we have now are thrown overboard. I think the latest bust was from Taiwan. But I'd like to address myself to all government agencies. Yung sabi nila na they found the metal, but they opened it, there was none. It was pure speculation. They were assuming that for those metal magnetic, contained, so the borehole, there was nothing there. And they suspected, and they also presumed that it was full of shabu. And they just made an assumption of the price. But there was really none, and I am not convinced. So next time, you do not go into speculative contents. Criminal law is very hard. It is very, very exciting, exacting, and all. And so you must be very sure that you have the goods. You cannot speculate that you recovered containers. They are not containers, but the magnetic, how do you call it? Yeah. So they just assumed that they were there at that warehouse, but there was no shabu inside. But made a speculative statement that had it been filled to the bin, it had worked. That was speculation. So, well, I can always agree with that. But when I said I was trying to fix, and then there's the problem of the AFP hospital. You know, PGH, that's the premier hospital of our country, run by UP. They've always been suffering with lack of funds. And I was even told that in some cases, the interns would shell out their contribution just to buy the medicine. So a long time ago, I called Andrea of Pagcor. And I asked the doctors and the management who came here, all Filipinos, and said, how much is your annual? A little over 30 for the medicines and all. 30 million for the whole year? Yes. Is that enough? No, sir, because, no, Mayor, because there are so many sick people and we collect nothing. It was a very sad story, and I said, you can do with 100 million. So they were very happy. Mayor, that's a great leap from our present money. Is that a year? No. It's every month. You will have 100 million to spend for the poor. You know, what is really very stupid about this whole thing is I gave Viluna, the AFP, it has Viluna Hospital, 50 million a month also. And the other hospital, another 50. There are two hospitals there. The AFP and forgot the other one. That's the Viluna. And I gave them a new building because it was being used and the drainage was blowing up upwards. And I said to them, how can you cure the infections of the wounds of my soldier? So I said, condemn that building, I'll build you a new one. I gave them the money because secretary was joking. I said, yes, okay. Early on. So titignan ko ito, before I go, I will create a big bang also. I want it audited. Kasi yung pera ng binigay ko was misappropriated by the pangalan ng putang. Torre de la Vega. So I said to Galvez, showed to me the report. I was scratching, I said, Mayor, sorry, but this is what happened. He said, you court-martial him. Create a court where he will appear before his peers. And give him the most humiliating. I fired them all. I still have to select a new one. So, one corruption, just right after there's another corruption. And the folder that's here is another. Sana ba yung yawa na yun? Just came in yesterday. And you won't believe it, it's the military. Maranyon? Maranya. Maranya was the controller of PMA, the premier military institution where we get the most, the brightest, and the best of our doctors and soldiers. Hindi na, okay na. There is another boss ninyo. Hector Maranya. 011566 Infantry, Philippine Army. Violation of articles on fraud against government, conduct unbecoming an officer and a gentleman, conduct prejudicial to the good order and the military discipline. The sentence is hereby recommended by the order of the accused. I approve his dismissal, and he was the controller of PMA. He malversed 15 million of the cadets' allowances. And in the military, you do not complain. So, I'll give it to affirming the decision separating him, and he was recommended to be imprisoned 6 to 12 years. This is good. Can I have a pen? I will sign it in your presence. Send the guy to hell. That's an order. No, this aide of mine, she's Navy. She went to Annapolis. Annapolis yan. So if you want to go into the business of shipbuilding, you might want to consult her. Ngayon ho, so habol ako ng habol. Kapagod na ako. I'm exasperated, and I said corruption. Then I said I will meet the challenge of drugs, which I did, and what I'm doing still now. And I said that the law and order situation, it's very hard, but we'll try. Then I said, I will talk to the enemies. So I have produced, have to thank Congress and the Speaker. Lumusot na yung BBL. And I said, I will also talk to the enemies of the state. I, with Murad, we are about comfortably situated now. Normi Suare is thinking aloud of what to do next, but we're good friends. And I have terminated the talks with the Reds, Communist Party of the Philippines, with CSON, because in the series of agreements before, even the time of Aquino, they entered into so many things that they scattered the privileges and powers which they wanted. And we sum it all, and it would really appear that it was a coalition government. And I said, I cannot give you an inch of that even. I cannot give you what is not mine. So, sorry, Tony Belly was there. He was the one with Doresa. But I don't know, they're back channeling, but I said, hardly, I cannot. Let other presidents do it, but I cannot deal with the Communist Party. Because to date, they have killed so many thousands, soldiers, barangay captains, innocent civilians, suspected of being agents of the military. We have suffered and in numbers. and I think it would not be good. We'll just have to continue fighting. The IS, we are improving on our acquisition of arms. One day it will blow up again. And I've been warned of multiple attacks of not only one but 2 or 3 cities. We will meet that, or the president, I don't know, ganito yan eh. The reason why I ask permission from the military is not because I am afraid of them. I was elected by the people with my corresponding instructions. They have their own mandate. They worry about their work, and I worry about mine. But I said, I want to work with you all, despite of corruption and everything, but I said, I am getting old and exasperated. I do not think that with the limited 3 years remaining in my term, I could even hardly make a dent. I cannot kill them all because the sacred human rights is there. They only have a list of how many killings. And they just count. And if they saw something there sprout yesterday, and they say extrajudicial killing. Me? How many policemen died? You must remember that the siege of Marawi did not start with a quarrel about rebellion or getting the piece of land. It was something of a police punitive action serving a warrant of arrest to one of the Mautis. They resisted and had a fight with the police. Greatly outnumbered, the police withdrew and the military had to come in. But while crossing the bridge of Pandi, the 9 Marines had no chance. Because Marawi itself was converted into an outpost. So they were covered by concrete and metals, iron. And so because of that, I lost so many soldiers. To date, I would say that about 1,000 policemen and soldiers died because of the traffic. Now I said, and the pretty boys of other countries had the goal to criticize me in a press briefing, forgetting me as if he was the only president in this planet. And he was warming me like a member of the Senyolosa about killing. And so look what is happening to the country. You say the Netflix, dope, it's flooding this country. And here comes another president. You are doing all right. So, the other guy says, you are bad because you are killing people. And this another president says that you're doing well. I will even copy you. And said, do it because time is running out for you. Your institutions has failed because set of rules with Senyalosa and the Midland. He's in prison. Was even able to get out and back into prison. That's how toxic the world has become because of drugs. So yun. I said, corruption, I'm trying, so I'm complying. Drugs, I'm doing something about it, I'm complying. I said, I will talk to the enemies of the state so we might be able to finally, somehow. Then I said, I will let the managers. So there is no commercial paper. I remember I signed last night all about measures of inflation, which our speaker is also passionately talking about. Now, the resignation. I said, I told the guys, the armed forces, all of them, and the police, generals, if you guys, I only need to talk. Do not give me that melodrama of coming to Malacañan with tanks and everything. Sabi ko, do not be, it's corny. All you have to do, because, if you come here to fight, you'd be killing the soldiers and the Navy because they are here and they would fight for me. Oh, are you stupid? Do not do that. All you have to do is to call me, let's have coffee, and if you say, President, sir, we find you not at par or not in parity with the expectation, and then I say, if you have found the leader, I'm going to step down. The problem is, I cannot suggest to them that you follow the succession, which is really the Constitution. But if they would do it, I said, go ahead. I am hesitant to suggest a constitutional succession. I have nothing against Robredo. She's a lawyer, and you have heard her talk. But I do not think she can improve on anything here. Of course, she will deny it. You can ask the hotbed of Shabu in the past years. I would not mention the name because it was Naga City. It was in Naga City, of which so I said, I would suggest to the military, you want the junta, look for the, or if you want yourself to be the junta, I said, line up here, I'll put you in your proper place. I, General, do hereby solemnly swear that as a regular junta member of this republic, then I go home to Davao and solve the problems of the country, because I will fail. I cannot do it, and so I have to admit to the people that I failed. So look for another one, and I'd be happy to go home. And you guys, you're the pressure in our society, you're the pressure groups that to formulate a public policy. And just saying, the money is with you. You can go ahead. You can suggest to them, but I am ready. And for those who are dreaming that I will extend my term and be a dictator, you must be the lowest idiot in this country. Even to suggest that I have a plan to. I am a lawyer, and I said, were it not for the fact that I do not believe in the competence of the Vice President, I'm ready to go. Anytime. So that is why I disregarded the 2 pages. Really, I'm ready to law. Been telling the military and the public, and everybody is listening though, it's being covered live. Kung may makita kayo na mas mahusay, if you think that there's somebody more competent, then by all means, place him. Or a group of persons who you think could bring prosperity to this nation, then do it. Because I said, I'm tired, and I think I cannot fulfill the promise of ending all this problem. Drugs will not end at the end of my term. It might just be, it would worsen, because, why is it that during the previous term, there were no billions and billions of drugs? Why? Why was there no arrest? So nobody was killed because nobody challenged the law. Why? Because nobody was interested to enforce the law. And the generals of the police were also running the show. And it was not until after I became the president and demanded from the military and police, you open to me. As an order, you open your records to me. And so I got this list. I said, well, everybody there in that list are dead, most of them. Well, if they were not in the list, they're still alive. But I never gave the list to the public. I just mentioned some who were already killing their own policemen, like the Parahinog and a military agent. Until now, we do not know where their carcass are, what happened to their bodies. They're missing for us. But the policeman, when they started to excavate one spot, as pointed out by the witness, they found the cause of the uniform. But the others, so he was flaunting. There was no government in Osamis. People were afraid to talk. But the economy of, the domestic economy of Osamis City was great. Everybody was building a house. Everybody was opening a legit, because most of the people there were the couriers of their mayor, selling shabu to other places, other cities, and other provinces. So, just be careful about the next president. You have to give him enough elbow room to move. Because if you constrict it squarely and demand the slightest move, when I ordered the removal of those guys who hung around every night, almost half naked, and if they feel that they need a fix, they would just go there and stage a hold-up, and sometimes they kill. Just what happened with the prosecutor of the ombudsman. She was pregnant. She was there to just buy at the convenience store. And so unnecessary. But of course, the killer is already dead. I would also tell you that. That's the play outside of Shabu. Now it's billions. The previous arrest was done with the cylinder thing. It was placed there, just like the metal that was the magnet that was lifted, taken from. So I'm just warning you. But we have a very good military, and with just a few scalawags. But I would even maybe forgive you if you purchase something you overpriced. Maybe I would suggest that just dismiss him from the service. But if you tinker with the medicines of the soldiers, especially those who were wounded in the Marawi siege, and there were thousands of them, and you allowed ghost deliveries and paid for it. I said to the chief of staff, take him out immediately and have him court-martialed. I want his peers so that he'll be forced to answer. And this guy, Maranya, he absconded with the honorarium of the soldiers. And you know, in the military, it's always, they know it. My Navy ages, she heard about it. It's an open secret. That's why if it's just a matter of camaraderie with the elite PMAers, I'd like to tell them, I love my soldiers, even those who did not graduate from the PMA. I love you all and the police. But do not go into corruption, because I'll give you hell. I am submitting my proposal to resign to the body now. I'll convert this into a if the governor of Oriental, congressman of Oriental would say, yeah, I only need one. If she will say, we are not party mates, she is a Marrojas supporter. If you stand up and say, Mayor Duterte resign, I will resign. But let the people know that you are the one. Can we have your word? Governor Malacañan, then Congresswoman Malacañan, and I was grade 2, you were already Governor Malacañan. I have graduated the law school, you are still Congressman Malacañan. Very nice. You are ang tawag nito nila, a dynasty of one. Like a king. Me, I've been a prosecutor for 8 years. Was a congressman once upon a time. Kasama ba tayo noon? O may governor ka noon? Governor ka. And then, I was vice mayor to my daughter. But my template is, I'm not extraordinarily proud of that. But if you really want what I really wanted for my country, go to Davao. Go out at night. Because in Davao, there's another dictator offing, not me, but she has a Duterte surname. If you go to Davao at 12 in midnight, everything closes. Just like during the communist heydays, that was the time Davao City was also. Even if you're drinking, the waiters would get it from your head and say, it's 12 o'clock and you have to go home. And there are no guys standing in. She does not want it. I don't know, but there seems to be that she's too. No more. Yeah, in Davao, you cannot smoke. You cannot drink beyond 12 o'clock. If you stand there in the corner and just talk there, then you will be asked by the police to continue your conversation in jail. Well, they are not really arrested, but they are just taken, especially if it's a minor. It is the duty of the nation, the republic, to take care of its young. We do not deprive them of their freedom to move. That's a constitutional guarantee. But under the great powers of a state, the police power, you can take in minors who are there outside. There's a curfew in Davao for minor, it's 10 o'clock. Then you are taken into custody. You are not arrested. Under the parens patria principle, which need not be in the Constitution because it's there all the time. The power of the state to protect its citizens and its young people. They can be taken into custody, detained for the night, because out there, danger lurks. And they are made as couriers of. All they have to present is the birth certificate. And that's the reason why. Because out there, they're just given 500 and they will do anything. You give this shabu to that guy in there. If arrested, minor. And I will tell you who is responsible for this law. It's Kiko Pangilinan. No offense to... Hindi naman siguro kayo magano. When from the criminal law is below 9 below 12, above 12, 16, indeterminate sentence law. Pangilinan's law, 15 years old, you commit rape every day, you are out of prison. You give the police the show every day, you kill, you rape, they will release you. There's no such thing as a correctional. It's what happens after they commit crime. Nothing. There's no appearance in court. The police just simply will say, he's 15 years old, irrespective of the severity of the crime. Kay Kiko, Pangilinan niya. Yung patsoy-choy, advance, We were good with the old law. You know, you don't follow legislations in other countries. They seem to be ideal, but not in all places also of that country. But ours is the galloping poverty of the people. And when the hungry and when the addicts come, they just... So there has to be a different approach. But the Western world seems to be trying to impose their values and how they treat. Correct, because you have the money, you have the means. The Philippine law has fallen short. After a great crime, the rape a blind woman and the daughter-in-law beside is a 1-year-old and a 14-year-old. Shabu goes with, if they are into it, the next thing is that they will take alcohol. and when you go crazy, it's the UN Drug Control Board, United Nations. The characterization of shabu is it creates a bizarre behavior and violent. And when you arrest a child, sabi ko nga, why was there no police activity? Because the law, the only way to evade the crime in the courts of law is to file a countercharge. And you know, when a child is arrested, the child will always go for it and run, and sometimes grapple. And so it would result in some bruises. Then after that, they're brought there comes the human rights. Oh, we go to the doctor. You have a bruise there. Sometimes they fight with the police. They and the police had to restrain them physically, resulting in it. So at that time, you ask me why. Why? Because once a case is filed against the police, he goes hungry. There is no salary, no food for the table, no food for the schooling of the monies for school. And that was what was happening. What gave me the great advantage was I was a prosecutor once upon a time. And I knew how it was being played. Kaya, when I said, they were deathly afraid of a case because once a case is filed, no matter how guilty or how innocent, he loses his job, suspended, he gets no money. That's why he is prone to, and even the prosecutors are corrupt. And the judges. There is one judge here in Manila with about nearly 1,000 drug cases. Not one single action. All acquitted, all dismissed. And so if you are the president of this country, what will you do? Just sit idly and fold your arms and listen, and you do not want to, that's... Once upon a time, I was with Cora. I was the presiding officer of the council. She was one of the... she knows how I behave. I do not like oppression. I do not like people oppressing another. But if you threaten or destroy or attempt to destroy my country, I will kill you. If you destroy our daughters and sons, you know their mothers and fathers. Once, it's worth listening to me because you learn. I was a law professor actually of I was teaching criminal law, criminal procedure, and criminal evidence. You know, if this family loses the father, he goes to work abroad. This family becomes dysfunctional. If family, children growing without a father, so if both the father and mother go out to work and leave the children to the grandfather, or to their sisters and brothers, or to the neighbors, this family is totally dysfunctional. And some of them, they go out and they are raped, deprived of food, sleep, and yet they endure the indignity because it is part of the territory of the culture that when you work or you are paid to do your work, or if you are a slave bought from the slave market, sexual is included in the culture. So look at the so many Filipinas beaten, placed inside a refrigerator, and they send money to their children. And this, they know back home that the neighbors, the bad guys, no, and they will, ayaw kong sabihin ang word, pero yung sina LL hanggang magbigay. And after 3 or 4 years, they come back only to see their children and family in shambles. That is what pains me. And that is the reason why I rage. Ganon ako. So if I cannot stop corruption, if I cannot really stop them because it's not allowed, otherwise the great, the wisest, and the merciful Westerner and the EU, Sus Mario, EU lawyers, who is from EU here? Any representative from EU? Who? Kindly, no, I am not. You might want to take a second look in your policies. First of all, do not humiliate the leaders. Then you can talk to them, pay him a visit. You can talk to me here. You can call on Peter Wallace. He's my friend. He can arrange for a meeting. But you don't send here investigators to find out, because that is really interference. That is really not allowed. Maybe the other countries of Europe has accepted it. But dito, kaya that is why we do, you know, I'll tell you straight. The ASEAN countries, you try to befriend them and give aid and everything. In the ASEAN countries, I'll tell you, all of them, except, nothing. Do you want to read their sentiments? You want to know? Oh, I will do it for you. They are all pro-China. Because China, that's not really, they give, and well, of course, the South China Sea. Well, they have to rethink that, because that would be a flashpoint someday. And even, you know, warning other, you cannot create an island, it's man-made, and you say that the air above this artificial island is yours. That is wrong, because those waters are what we consider international sea. And the right of innocent passage is guaranteed. It does not need any permission to sail through the open seas. And if it's nearby a territorial water, you guarantee what you would call the right of innocent passage. So I hope that China would temper its, at least its behavior. I do not want to quarrel with China. But at this time, because you will create America, instead of obeying get out, China will say, we go in, and get out. And one of these days, a hot-head commander there will just press a trigger. And by the way, we are just about 25 minutes away from well, there are forces. Do not ever think that the Americans, Mr. Ambassador, I'm just telling the truth. There are outposts here, and and that is why in Marawi I was really, and I take full responsibility that we fell short of the intelligence assessment. The ordnance was just good for 5 months of battle, and even longer maybe. But we were sure that it was a brewing, because my relatives, I come from Lanao del Sur, or my grandmother. And so they kept on telling me, nagpapasana, arms were being passed around. So we ordered the rifles, 23 of them. It's no fault of the ambassador, but some great American senators or congressmen spoke against it. And so the 23,000 rifles that we thought that we needed, because over time the bore of those rifles have already does not have it cannot create the right. It comes out of the barrel turning. It has its own momentum. So, but the 23,000 was went kaput. So we had to buy from I tried to buy, but it was given to me for free. To this day, China has not even demanded anything. So it's very clear that the gambit really is the China Sea. But one of these days, I said, before my term ends, I assured you that I will talk to them. Maybe if I cannot, it's expensive to be flying around, having my second thoughts about going to Jordan and Israel because of the expense. Last time I went commercial, but they said that if we go commercial in that area there, it's not good. You get hijacked, you get hit by a guided missile, and your purpose was just to visit Netanyahu and pray to God. That's why. I have my own concept of God is. What God is. It's really the history. It's only one God, God the Father. It's not even the Father, He's God, period. But this, is there any bishop here? I want to kick your ass. And the priest. I tell you, the most hypocritical institution in the Philippines is the Catholic Church. My statement, no. Coming from Secretary Ivasco, the Cabinet Secretary. Is he here? Ivasco was a priest together with Tison. They left their vocation. Well, before leaving, he married a nun. I'm not joking. So that is where they get maybe their supply also. And went to Mindanao. He was caught by the Philippine Scout Rangers of the Army. He was brought before me because I was the, I've got the, ano yung bot, yung naka-assign ka dyan, you are the inquest fiscal. And so one of the, who's now a general, said, this priest will execute him. I said, no. He is a priest and we will go to hell. So Ibasco lived to, when he went out of prison, they were released by Cory Aquino, by the way. Mass release. On the record, on that day I said, let the record show for posterity that I am objecting to the release because the order was just to release. No finding of fault, no nothing. And as a prosecutor, I had to do my job. Place it on record that I am objecting. Well, I could not do anything. So he went to me, said, I was released. I was prosecuting him in court. God. I said, I want to work. Well, I said, no, can you give me work? Ibasco is bright. Why? They are trained in mobilization because of the job of priests. They take care of, mobilize the faithful. Now I realize that with the advent of you guys can afford it. I suggest that you read the Popes, plural. I think it's online. Or if you want, may kopya ka ba isa dyan? Yung libro, mga pare. Altar Secrets. This guy is now dead, but he used to be, I think, the narrator of the CBCP. It's all there. Sex, politics, and money in the Philippine Catholic Church. The introduction is given by Marites Bitog. Hindi mo nang bili ito, it's a hot seller actually. Just like when you read the Popes, same. Almost the same pattern of corruption, homosexuality and all. No, they say, you know, you employees of government are wasting the people's money. You do not have a proper accounting, and if there is one, it's faulted. And we have the right to know because it is the money of the people. Me, I was a former Roman Catholic Church. We studied in Ateneo, and we were molested, all of us, 2 years up and 2 years down. Every time we confessed, they would just fondle us and say, what are your sins, my son? Come on. And, you know, when you are a teenager, what do? There's only one thing, it's all sexual drive in them. And the priest is an American. You look for Mark Falby. It's in the internet. And that's the one that he was convicted, and the Jesuits were forced to pay $25 million to the victims of sexual molestations. So, the Catholic Church is strict about the behavior of workers of government because we spend the people's money. But may I ask now, you collect not even taxes. There's a bag of money, and they go around collecting. And then this collection is part to maintain the church. Now there's a second collection. Please be generous, because the second collection is for my family. I have 2 children to putang ina niya. And what is really, I will tell you about it, but I'm not. There is an orphanage here. Take it from me. There is an orphanage here of children fathered by. They made it appear it's an orphanage. Me, so that I'm not a Roman Catholic Church member anymore. That's why I showed you, because if you want, there's a new religion in town. It's called Iglesia ni Rodrigo. My religion does not limit anything. All you can do is do not believe in hell. When you die, you're just a piece of carcass, and that's it. There's no more hell about hell. Burning in hell, you cannot burn a soul. No. I'm contemplating of joining another Christian. But I only believe in one God. Do you know how many saints the Catholic Church has? 7,000. San Lorenzo, San Pablo, San Pedro. It would have been also a consolation, Santo Rodrigo. Wala ka eh. Tapos we are assigned in every parochial thing. There's something. Yours is San Isidro. Your saint. And who is the shit? You know, there were nomadic tribes at the time. Nomadic. Who is this guy, San Isidro, that every town fiesta we kill our cows, carabaos, we kill our just to spend, because it is the fiesta of San Isidro. San Pablo, who were they? That's the reason why, I don't know, but they have kept quiet. But I'm willing, especially if I get out of this office, I will talk to you about you every day. And I will end up a pastor, also buying my own plane, everything, it works. All you have to do is to say, and if I can convince them of the stupidity of the religion, you read the popes. And I'm sure after reading it, you will never be on the edge of. I am sure. That is my speech for you regarding business. No, I cannot lecture on you because you know better than I am. I've been telling you I do not know about business because that is not how I was trained. But if you want to tangle with me about law, criminal, prosecution and all, I can deal with you the whole day. But when you talk about, domestic, it's just a income. That's about it. I leave it up to, I do not like this new formula. It would have been simple if they just place math, arithmetic, or math. The alphabet, do not touch with it. But when you combine the alphabet and the figures, 2b minus 2, Well, I like algebra. I'm not really that poor, but I enjoyed physics, algebra. But calculus, I like trid- uh, geometry. Ito ng trigonometry. Like legal accounting. I almost failed in it. I do not listen. I was debit entry 500. So dito 500. Debit credit. Then expense 1,000. Lipat mo to 1,000. Then if they coincide, if they end up same number balance, and then you have solved the problem. Why don't you just place there how much did you earn today? How much did you pay and how much did you... Because our professor in legal accounting, you do not understand. Oh, yeah, especially in economics. They draw a line and then you pay. So. You go crazy. Sometimes you puke. Why are you making? You just say improvement in the economy. Here, one line. We're here in the margin. The improvement last year was this one. Now our close in parentheses. Expectations. We would reach one. It's scale of 1 to 100. We are here now 4. Then we will hit 60 by. You divide the years. Make it simple. But doing that, 82 years then you go. No, really. You make it complicated. You can say, this is your business. You are here. Oh my God. Say, so I'm earning. Yes, you are. That's the. Then down here. Oh, because you said putang ina in public. Your rating is. When I said something about God, I was addressing the priest. So I said I got 54. And so media and the rest of the also idiots, they were happy. Now he is falling down. And I am not, I am already depressed. Do not numbers there. No more. I do not care even. So 54. Then another Pulse Asia, you are now 82. No. There is something wrong with the Filipinos. If that is a reflection about it, you cannot be trusted. Ladies and gentlemen, I took too much of the liberty to just to listen to you. I'm trying to figure out because really, I am ready to go down. If the armed forces, bakit ang armed forces? Bakit ang police? They are the only two organizations who can control when everything breaks loose. They must maintain order, that's their job. What they want to do after that, well, I said, I leave it up to them. But for all of you, no illusions about extension, about dictatorship. At this time, I'm telling you, I'm ready to step down and retire. Maraming salamat po at mabuhay kayo.
Thank you very much, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte. May we request the President to remain on stage for the photo opportunity. For the first batch, we have the heads of the Angat Lahat Alliance organizations. For those who are included in batch 1, kindly proceed to the right side of the stage. Yes, for batch 1, these are the gentlemen and ladies with the pink sticker. For those participating in the photo opportunity, kindly proceed on stage to the back of the seat of the President. Okay, for batch 1. Yes, for batch 1. We have the heads of the Philippine Retailers Association, Philippine Institute for Certified Public Accountants, Federation of Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Philippine Franchise Association, Federation of Filipino-Chinese Chamber of Commerce, Makati Business Club, Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Management Association of the Philippines, Philippine Exporters Confederation, Bankers Association of the Philippines, Rural Bankers Association of the Philippines, Microfinance Council of the Philippines, Financial Executives of the Philippines, Direct Selling Association of the Philippines, Philippine Women's Economic Network, Women Business Council Philippines, Association of Filipino Franchisers, Philippine Marketing Association, European Chamber of Commerce, Korean Chamber of Commerce, American Chamber of Commerce, Anvil Business Club, IT and Business Process Association, Digital Commerce Association, Semiconductor and Electronics Industries of the Philippines, Supply Chain Management Association, Philippine Association of Legitimate Service Contractors, and People Management Association of the Philippines. Kindly get ready for the next batch, which are heads of the conglomerates and VIPs. Thank you very much to the first batch. You may now exit the podium. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to the first batch. In the photo opportunity, you may now exit the podium. For the second batch, kindly please get ready. As soon as the first batch exits, you will be going onto the podium. Okay, we now have batch 2 for the photo opportunity with the President. These are composed of the heads of conglomerates and sponsors. For batch 3, kindly please get ready. These are the Go Negosyo mentors. Thank you very much to the second batch. Kindly exit the podium. Okay, for batch number 3, for the photo opportunity, kindly please go up on stage.
Would like to request everyone to stay clear of the center area. Kindly stay clear of the center area. Thank you. Batch 4, please get ready.
May we ask the guests, please, at the rostrum to please take 2 steps to your right. Thank you. Thank you. All right. As the photos being taken, thank you very much. Maraming salamat po. Kindly exit to your right. Thank you. May we ask the next batch, please, to prepare.
We'd like batch 3 to please exit. Batch 3, thank you very much. Kindly exit to your right, batch 3. Batch 4, stand by. Thank you very much, Batch 4. We'd like to request all the guests to kindly be seated as the President will be exiting. Once again, we'd like to request everyone to be seated, take your seats, settle down. Thank you. Once again, thank you very much. We'd like to request everyone to kindly leave the stage area and exit to your right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. That concludes our ceremonies this evening. Thank you very much, President Rodrigo Roa Duterte.